Welcome to Biz TV's Beyond the Brand. I'm Kelly Phillips. Our guest today is Alla Kaluzny, an author and therapist who uses hypnotherapy and clairvoyance to guide others on journeys of memory and consciousness. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of Biz TV's Beyond the Brand. Our guest is an author and therapist who blends 20 years of clinical social work with expertise in spiritual psychology and past life healing. An immigrant from the former Soviet Union and author of Turning the Pages, she integrates hypnotherapy and clairvoyant insights to guide others on profound journeys of memory and consciousness. Please welcome Alla Kaluzny to the show. And Alla, before we get started, if you would give our audience just a brief biographical information about you, where you grew up, what life was like, and what led you to do what you're doing today.
A little bit about me. I immigrated to United States at the end, before the Soviet Union collapsed. So when I was leaving, it was still a Soviet Union. I was born and grew up in Kiev, Ukraine now. And there are many reasons why I immigrated with my family to the United States. And one of them was me living through Chernobyl disaster. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to bring my daughter to a better place. So that's what we did. We came as a family, and the rest is history, so to speak.
At what point did you become an author, and where did your clinical work into spiritual healing, when did that all begin?
Well, the author I became after I retired. I never planned to be an author. However, many people told me, Alla, you have to write a book. You have to write a book. And I never knew what I would be book about. But having experience, and I have a master's degree in spiritual psychology with consciousness, health, and healing, as well as I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And I work for, like you mentioned, 20 years with children in a county as a children's social worker. I had a lot of experiences, and I was always fascinated by the concept of past lives. I traveled with Brian Weiss. I read a lot of books. His books, I read all of them. So past lives question and idea always fascinated me. And I started looking into my own experiences. And when the question came, what should I write about? The answer came very clear: write about your past lives. And that's what I did.
So how do you explain to others the process of traveling back in time? I mean, to someone who may be skeptical or even curious about it?
Well, there are a lot of people skeptical about it. Mm-hmm. That is for sure. People don't buy this, but I believe, and I know it is beyond belief, that we all were here before, that we are, like someone said, we are not human being having a spiritual experiences. We are spiritual being having human experience. And if we change the idea that we're not human, we are spiritual beings, and we are just, our soul travels from one body to another to learn experiences that the soul needs. Then this idea, if we flip it, then it's easier to accept that we've been here before. And I just want to point out that one of the clearest, to me, indication is many of us had deja vu, whether it's song, or you come to the place and, oh, I heard this before, I have been here before, or something. Those are experiences that sometimes we brush off, but those are reminders of past life.
What about something like an instant connection with someone? Could that be a past life experience?
Absolutely, Kelly. That is no question. When we have that connection with people, instantly, that is indication to me that we've known each other before.
Can there be healing memories from past life if you can go there as an individual?
Well, I can definitely say yes. And that's why I wanted to write books for my own self. I was looking for healing for my physical condition, and I wanted to find out why I have this ongoing back problem, and that helped me looking into past life, knowing how to do it myself. As being a student in Hypnosis Institute, I learned how to do past life regression on myself. So I was able to trace where my back problem originated from. And then I had other lives where back problem was an issue. So that helped me to heal. It did not change the back problem, but it changed the pain level. I do not have the same pain as I used to have. So I believe it's a success.
So as a certified hypnotherapist, what's happening in the brain when a person accesses a memory that doesn't seem to belong in their current life?
All our memories stored in our subconscious mind. We have access to consciousness. That's what the studies show, about 7 to 9% of memories we have currently that were accessible, but otherwise it's all in a subconscious mind. And we also have a cell memory, and cell memory is something when you hear something and everybody knows the feeling of goosebumps. Mm-hmm. This is the confirmation that your body remembers something. It's a reminder. That means true, it happened. So you can assign anything, but this is a true confirmation because our body remembers, even though we had a different body before. But when we're born with certain cell memories, they call cell memories. And those cell memories let us know in a way of goosebumps. Oh yeah, it's true. Oh yeah, it happened. And it's very silent and very subtle.
Now, you said that you taught yourself how to do this on yourself. Can you walk through steps with other people so they can do it themselves at home?
They can, and there are books about it. Not my book particularly, although I do address how I've done it in different memories of past lives. But there's do it yourself. Before people need to learn how to, you cannot just walk around and then decide, okay, let me see what my past life is. It has to be either a meditation or some quiet moment. And then you need to ask a question, where this came from, or relationship, or some kind of issue that people are dealing with. And then the answer, people look at their feet and what kind of shoes they're wearing. That will help them to set the scene where it happened. And then other questions, what happened to me? How did I die? Who was around me? Those are set of questions that other books address and explain how to do it yourself. It's important to listen to your own small voice, your intuition, which tells you some people would not even be able to do it, or they don't want to do it. It's for people who really are open-minded and who want to expand their consciousness.
We need to take a quick break, so if you would stick around and we'll be back and talk a little bit more when we come back. Be sure to scan the QR code on your screen to sign up for BizTV's monthly newsletter, The Biz Beat, where you'll get articles, business news, and columns by BizTV's personalities, all sent directly to your inbox. And we're back with Alla Kaluzny, author of Turning the Pages. And Alla, if you would, talk to us a little bit about your book. I know this is not the only one, but tell us first about Turning the Pages and what folks can anticipate in reading it.
Turning the Pages is the title of the book came from a dream. Many, many years ago, I had a dream that in that dream, my husband handed me a book and he said, Alla, this is the book of your past lives. I made it for you. And in the dream, I opened the pages of that. I was curious to see what's inside. And I started turning the pages. And I only remember when I woke up, I only remember 2 pictures in that book. The rest of the pages were stuck together. They were glued together. I could not open them. So that dream really stuck with me for a long time. And when I was asking people who knew more than me at that time, I said, why I could not open the pages? And they unanimously told me it's because your brain, your mind was not ready to see the pictures inside. And so that's why the title Turning the Pages, it came from the dream. And in this book, I am turning the pages that I could not open in that dream. And once I started writing, I understood why, because the lives that my soul lived, they were pretty dramatic and traumatic, like many of us. That's why I could not see them before. So each chapter in this book dedicated to one lifetime, and having the clairvoyant abilities and self-hypnosis and other skills that I learned in the School of Spiritual Psychology, I was able to tune into those lifetimes because I only had a glimpse of a lifetime of something. And then in the writing, I was able to expand and write the whole story. I interviewed my other people who I was before. So it's very interesting. And even the people don't believe in this, but if they keep an open mind and read it, even as an entertainment, it's still a good read. That's why my book won 2 book awards.
Now, this
I'm proud to say.
This is not the only book that you've written. What is your other book?
My second book came out of my own question, and I was looking at my friends, and I thought, I wonder who those people were before, because we all have long-term friends, and we have people who we just meet and they disappear. So I dedicated this book to my friends, and I started with the notion that friends are the family that we choose. So I chose those people who are in my life, some of them from the grade school, some of them from 25, 30 years ago, some recent one. And I wrote about us, who we were in past lives. And that's why this title of this book that just got a second book award is Turning New Pages. And I am, as an animal lover, and I have a lot of animals, I looked, and it has to go back to my first book, but I decided to explore who the animals that I've been, who came to me, who I adopted, who they were before in my past lives. And guess what? Some of them were.
What's one of the biggest things, revelations that you've had going into your past life?
The biggest revelation was my dog. That's why I went to write in a third book about animals, because in my first book, I was able to trace my dog, late dog. He died more than 10 years ago, that he was a horse in one of my lifetimes before. And what was interesting, or fascinating that he had a hip dysplasia from the very young age. And I was able to trace his hip problem to the lifetime when he was a horse because he was shot in his hip. And so he was born with the same trauma that started very early. So that really moved me to find out about my other animals.
You recently have been certified as a soul coaching oracle card reader. What is that? Can you explain it to us?
I love cards. I love tarot cards, oracle cards, and I decided to get certified because I like to play cards. One of the cards is the past life, one of the decks that I use and help people to get in touch with their past lives, past life cards. And so I expanded and decided to get it certified. There are oracle cards that tell to answer the question. For example, this morning before we started our interview, I asked the card, what should I anticipate or what's going to happen? And I got the card that says, you're entering unknown territory. You are where you're supposed to be. These are the oracle cards, one of the decks that I use. And what they are helpful for everyday life. I also read people's, I give people birthday presents and I read their cards. Like, for example, tomorrow I will be reading my friend's birthday was just the other day, and I am going to gift her a reading for 12 months of her year and see what's going to happen every month. So it's a way of finding out in a very playful way. And even past life cards versus past life regressions. I find that reading cards is, to me, is much more, I have more spiritual experience by reading cards than doing the regression. Because it's all happening on the conscious level, and people love, and we talk versus being in a state of hypnosis. So I find it very, very helpful and very interesting. And so is others.
What do you tell people that may be leery of going back and learning about past lives or even believing in past lives? What would you tell them?
I would tell them, like in everything else, keep an open mind. Because we really don't know what is going on. There are more senses than 5 senses. We don't really know what's going on, a lot of things. The electricity comes when we turn on the light, but we have no idea how the electricity comes to us. I mean, some do, of course, but most of us don't. So I would say keep an open mind and listen to your small voice. That's the voice of your intuition that tells you, don't go there. And if you don't, then you find out later something happened there. And if we override that small voice, then we then regret. And I have a few stories about that too, from my own life. I'm sure many have.
Yes.
So open mind and listen to your own voice.
Now, Alla,
those are 2 things.
Where can folks find your book and find more information, perhaps if they wanted a card reading?
If they want a card reading, they can find me through my email, and they can email me at my first name and last name, allakalushny@gmail.com. It's very easy. My books are on Amazon. My books are on Audible. Both of my books are audiobooks, and they are narrated absolutely beautifully. So if you guys don't have time to read, but you have time to listen, find my books on Amazon, on Audible.
Well, Alla, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching Biz TV's Beyond the Brand. Be sure to subscribe to the Biz TV YouTube channel, where you'll find full episodes of this show, fresh Biz TV content, and a few surprises each week to help you stay inspired.